What if I told you that one of the richest men in history doesn't spend his mornings chasing trends, checking stock prices every 5 minutes, or searching for secret investment tricks? What if I told you that Warren Buffett built a fortune worth billions of dollars by following a handful of simple habits that almost anyone can learn? Most people believe wealth is created by luck. Others believe it's created by intelligence. But Warren Buffett has spent decades proving something very different. He once said, "Chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." Think about that for a moment. Your future is not determined by what you do once in a while. It is determined by what you do every single day. The habits you repeat today become the financial reality you live tomorrow. And the truth is, most people never become wealthy not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack the daily habits that create opportunity. In today's video, we're going to explore 7 powerful wealth habits Warren Buffett uses every day. These habits helped transform a curious young boy from Omaha into one of the greatest investors the world has ever known. More importantly, these habits can help transform the way you think about money, success, and your future. Stay until the end, because the final habit may be the most important lesson Buffett has ever taught. Let's begin. One of Warren Buffett's most famous quotes is, "The more you learn, the more you earn." Simple. Yet most people completely ignore it. When Buffett was young, he spent countless hours reading books about business, investing, and economics. While other children were playing games, Buffett was studying annual reports and learning how companies worked. People often ask him, "What is the secret to your success?" His answer surprises them. He points to stacks of books and says, "Read 500 pages every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest." Think about the power of that statement. Most people want financial growth, but very few invest in intellectual growth. They spend hours scrolling through social media, but only minutes improving their skills. Buffett understood something most people miss. Money follows value, and value comes from knowledge. The more problems you can solve, the more valuable you become. Imagine two people starting their careers at the same time. One spends 5 years consuming entertainment every evening. The other spends 5 years learning communication, investing, sales, leadership, and technology. Who do you think will have more opportunities? Who will earn more? Who will build more wealth? The answer is obvious. Every book you read is a conversation with someone who spent years mastering a subject. Every skill you learn increases your future earning power. Practical lesson. Spend at least 30 minutes every day learning something useful. Read books, listen to audiobooks, study successful people. Invest in knowledge before investing in stocks. Because your greatest asset is not your bank account, it is your mind. Most people protect their money. Very few protect their time. Yet Warren Buffett believes time is far more valuable than money. One of his most famous quotes is, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Read that again. Say no to almost everything. Now think about the average person's day. Constant notifications, meetings that don't matter, social media scrolling, unnecessary obligations, endless distractions. Many people are busy all day but accomplish very little. They confuse movement with progress. Buffett learned early that every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something important. Every hour wasted can never be recovered. Money lost can be earned again. Time lost is gone forever. This reminds me of a story from Buffett's longtime business partner, Charlie Munger. One day, Buffett asked his pilot to write down his top 25 career goals. After the pilot finished, Buffett told him to circle the 5 most important goals. The pilot did. Then Buffett asked, "What about the other 20?" The pilot replied, "Those are still important. I'll work on them whenever I can." Buffett immediately corrected him. "No, Those 20 goals are your avoid-at-all-cost list. Why? Because they distract you from the goals that truly matter. This is a lesson most people never learn. Success isn't only about what you focus on. It's also about what you ignore. Every billionaire understands this principle. They don't have more hours than you. They simply use those hours differently. While others are distracted by everything, they focus on the few activities that create the biggest results. Buffett once said, "You have to keep control of your time, and you can't unless you say no." Think about your own life. How many hours disappear every week because of things that don't move your life forward? How many opportunities are lost because attention is scattered? The wealthiest people understand that attention is a currency. Where attention goes, results follow. Practical lesson. For the next 7 days, track your time honestly. Write down where every hour goes. You may be shocked by what you discover. Then ask yourself, what is the highest value activity I could be doing instead? Protect your time. Guard it fiercely, because your future is being built 1 hour at a time. But protecting time is only half the battle. You can have all the time in the world and still struggle financially if you don't know how to think. And this brings us to one of Warren Buffett's greatest superpowers, a habit that has saved him from countless mistakes and helped him make some of the most profitable decisions in history. Most people are obsessed with quick results, quick money, quick success, quick gratification. But Warren Buffett built his fortune by thinking differently. He once said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." That single sentence contains one of the most powerful wealth lessons ever spoken. Everything valuable takes time. A tree takes years to grow. A business takes years to grow. Skills take years to develop. Relationships take years to build. Yet modern society teaches the opposite. People want millionaire results with minimum effort. They want six-pack abs in 6 weeks. They want investment returns overnight. They want success without patience. Buffett understands something most people ignore. The greatest force in wealth creation is not intelligence, it is consistency. Another famous Buffett quote says, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." Notice that he didn't say from the poor to the rich. He said from the impatient to the patient. That changes everything. Patience is a competitive advantage. In a world where everyone wants immediate rewards, the ability to wait becomes extremely valuable. Consider Buffett's investment in Coca-Cola. In 1988, he invested heavily in the company. Many people thought it was boring. Nothing exciting, nothing flashy, no dramatic headlines. But Buffett wasn't looking for excitement. He was looking for long-term value. Decades later, that investment generated billions of dollars. The lesson? Wealth often grows quietly. It compounds in the background while everyone else is chasing shortcuts. Buffett frequently reminds investors, "Our favorite holding period is forever." Think about how unusual that mindset is. Most investors think in days. Buffett thinks in decades. Most people focus on immediate rewards. Buffett focuses on lasting results. This habit applies far beyond investing. If you read every day for 5 years, your knowledge compounds. If you save consistently for 10 years, your money compounds. If you improve by just 1% every day, your skills compound. The magic isn't in a single action. The magic is in repetition. Buffett once said, "Life is like a snowball. The important thing is finding wet snow and a really long hill." What does that mean? It means small actions become massive results when given enough time. A tiny snowball rolling down a long hill eventually becomes enormous. The same is true of wealth. The same is true of success. The same is true of your life. Practical lesson. Stop asking, "How much can I earn this week?" Start asking, "What can I build over the next 10 years?" That single shift in thinking can transform your future. Because the people who win financially are rarely the fastest. They are usually the most consistent. And consistency becomes easy when you understand the fourth habit Warren Buffett practices every single day. Habit 4. He stays within his circle of competence. One of the biggest reasons people struggle financially is surprisingly simple. They try to be experts in everything. They chase trends they don't understand. They invest in businesses they've never studied. They follow advice from strangers. And they make decisions based on excitement rather than knowledge. Warren Buffett does the exact opposite. One of his most important principles is what he calls the circle of competence. He once said, "Know your circle of competence and stick within it." The size of that circle is not very important. Knowing its boundaries, however, is vital. At first, that may sound limiting, but in reality, it's incredibly freeing. Buffett doesn't try to understand every business. He doesn't invest in every opportunity. He doesn't pretend to know things he doesn't know. Instead, he focuses on areas he understands deeply, and that simple habit has saved him billions of dollars in mistakes. Let's go back to the late 1990s. The internet boom was exploding. Technology stocks were soaring. Every day, new companies appeared. Everyone seemed to be getting rich. Investors were making fortunes overnight. The pressure was enormous. People criticized Buffett. They called him old-fashioned, outdated. They said he didn't understand the future. But Buffett remained calm. Why? Because he didn't fully understand many of those businesses. They were outside his circle of competence. So he stayed away. Then came the crash. Billions of dollars disappeared. Many investors lost everything. Buffett survived because he refused to invest in things he didn't understand. That is wisdom. Most people believe successful people make more good decisions. In reality, they often make fewer bad decisions. And avoiding costly mistakes is one of the fastest paths to wealth. Buffett once said, "Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing." Think about that. Most people define risk as uncertainty. Buffett defines risk as ignorance. The less you understand something, the riskier it becomes. This lesson applies far beyond investing. Before starting a business, learn the industry. Before changing careers, learn the skills. Before making a major financial decision, understand the consequences. Knowledge reduces risk. Ignorance increases it. Practical lesson. Focus on mastering one area before jumping to the next. Don't chase every opportunity. Build expertise, because wealth is often created through depth, not distraction. But understanding opportunities isn't enough. You must also learn how to control the one thing that destroys more fortunes than market crashes ever could: human emotion. And that brings us to Buffett's fifth wealth habit. Habit 5. He controls his emotions. Most financial mistakes are not caused by lack of intelligence. They're caused by lack of emotional control. Fear, greed, impatience, panic. These emotions have destroyed more wealth than any recession in history. Warren Buffett understands this better than almost anyone. He once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." This quote has become legendary, but very few people actually live by it. Think about what happens during a market crash. News headlines create panic. Investors become afraid. People rush to sell. Everyone thinks disaster is coming. Yet Buffett often sees opportunity. Why? Because emotions cloud judgment. And when everyone else is emotional, rational thinkers gain an advantage. Likewise, during market booms, when everyone believes prices can only go higher, Buffett becomes cautious. He understands a simple truth. Crowds are often wrong at extremes. This principle applies to life as well. When someone criticizes you, do you react emotionally? When things don't go your way, do you panic? When success arrives, do you become overconfident? Emotional discipline separates winners from losers. Buffett once shared another powerful insight. The most important quality for an investor is temperament, not intellect. Notice he didn't say intelligence, he said temperament. Because knowledge is useless if emotions control your actions. Let's look at one example. Imagine two investors. Both have the same education. Both have the same amount of money. Both receive the same information. A market correction occurs. One panics and sells. The other remains calm and follows a long-term plan. 10 years later, their results will likely be completely different, not because one was smarter, because one was more disciplined. The same thing happens in business, in relationships, in personal growth. Emotional reactions create temporary relief. Rational decisions create lasting success. Buffett also said, "You can't make a good deal with a bad person." This quote reveals another side of emotional intelligence. Character matters. Integrity matters. Trust matters. The people you choose to associate with influence your future more than you realize. A calm, disciplined environment produces better decisions. A chaotic environment produces costly mistakes. Practical lesson. Before making any major decision, pause. Ask yourself, am I acting based on logic or emotion? That single question can save years of regret. Because wealth isn't just about making money, it's about making wise decisions consistently. And those decisions become easier when emotions are under control. So far, we've learned that Warren Buffett never stops learning, protects his time, thinks long-term, stays within his circle of competence, and controls his emotions. But none of these habits would matter if he ignored one final principle. A principle so powerful that Buffett credits it for much of his success. A habit that determines who you become, what opportunities you receive, and how high you ultimately rise. And it begins with one simple question. Who are you spending your life with? Habit 6. He chooses the right people. There is an old saying, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Whether that statement is mathematically true doesn't matter. The principle behind it is absolutely true. The people around you shape your thinking. They influence your habits. They affect your standards. And over time, they can dramatically impact your financial future. Warren Buffett understood this lesson early in life. One of his most famous quotes is, "It is better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you'll drift in that direction." Think about that. Human beings naturally adapt to their environment. If you spend your time around negative people, negativity becomes normal. If you spend your time around lazy people, laziness becomes acceptable. If you spend your time around ambitious people, growth becomes expected. Success leaves clues. And one of Buffett's greatest decisions was surrounding himself with exceptional people. Perhaps the best example is his friendship with Charlie Munger. For decades, Buffett and Munger challenged each other's thinking. They questioned assumptions. They debated ideas. They pushed one another to become better investors and better human beings. That relationship created extraordinary value. Buffett once admitted, "Charlie has taught me a lot." Imagine that, one of the wealthiest men in history, openly acknowledging how much he learned from someone else. That's humility, and it's also wisdom. Because no one succeeds alone. Every successful person has mentors, advisors, teachers, partners, or friends who elevate their thinking. Another Buffett quote says, "Tell me who your heroes are, and I'll tell you how you'll turn out." This is powerful. Because whether you realize it or not, you are constantly modeling behavior. You are always learning from someone. The question is, who are your role models helping you grow or helping you stay comfortable? Are they teaching discipline or teaching excuses? The direction of your life often follows the direction of your influences. Practical lesson. Take an honest look at your environment. Ask yourself, who inspires me? Who challenges me? Who encourages growth? Spend more time with those people. Read their books. Study their ideas. Learn from their experiences. Because the right relationships can accelerate your success by years. But even if you learn constantly, protect your time, think long-term, control your emotions, and surround yourself with great people. There is still one habit that ties everything together, a habit that many wealthy people practice quietly, a habit that allows money to grow instead of disappear. Habit 7, he lives below his means. This habit surprises many people. When people imagine billionaires, they picture luxury yachts, private islands, mansions with hundreds of rooms, endless spending. But Warren Buffett built his fortune differently. He once said, "Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving." Most people do the exact opposite. They spend first, save later, and somehow later never arrives. Buffett understood a simple truth. Wealth is not what you earn. Wealth is what you keep. Many people earn impressive incomes, but remain financially stressed. Why? Because their expenses rise with their income. Every raise creates new spending. Every bonus creates new obligations. The result? More income, but no freedom. Buffett avoided this trap. For decades, he lived in the same home he purchased in Omaha in 1958. Despite becoming one of the richest people in the world, he didn't feel the need to constantly impress others. Why? Because Buffett understands something that many people never learn. Money is a tool, not a trophy. Its purpose is freedom, not appearance. Another famous Buffett quote states, "If you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need." That lesson has become even more relevant today. Modern society encourages constant consumption. New phones, new cars, new clothes, new subscriptions, new temptations every day. People spend money to look rich while quietly becoming poorer. Meanwhile, truly wealthy people often focus on acquiring assets instead of liabilities. They buy things that generate value, things that appreciate, things that create future income. Buffett's lifestyle teaches us that wealth is often invisible. The flashy car may not indicate wealth. The designer watch may not indicate wealth. True wealth is having choices. True wealth is having peace of mind. True wealth is waking up every day knowing you control your future. Practical lesson. Before making any purchase, ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to freedom or further away from it? That simple question can transform your financial life. Because every dollar has a job, and the dollars you keep working for you today become the freedom you enjoy tomorrow. Let's quickly review the 7 wealth habits Warren Buffett uses every day. Habit number 1, never stop learning. Because knowledge compounds faster than almost anything else. Habit number 2, protect your time. Because time is your most valuable asset. Habit number 3, think long-term. Because patience creates extraordinary results. Habit number 4, stay within your circle of competence. Because understanding reduces risk. Habit number 5, control your emotions. Because discipline beats panic every time. Habit number 6, choose the right people. Because your environment shapes your future. Habit number 7, live below your means. Because wealth is built by keeping and growing money, not merely earning it. As we come to the end of this video, remember something important. Warren Buffett did not become one of the richest men in history because of a single investment. He became successful because of thousands of small decisions repeated consistently over decades. The habits we discussed today may seem simple. In fact, that is exactly why most people ignore them. People search for secret formulas, hidden strategies, magic shortcuts. But success rarely hides in complexity. Success hides in daily discipline, a book read today, a dollar saved today, an hour invested in learning today, a wise decision made today. These actions may appear insignificant, but over time they become extraordinary. Because just like compound interest transforms small amounts of money into fortunes, compound habits transform ordinary people into exceptional individuals. The future you dream about is not created someday. It is created by the choices you make today. So ask yourself, which one of these 7 habits will you start practicing immediately? Because the answer to that question may determine where your life is 5, 10, or 20 years from now. If you found value in this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson on wealth, success, and personal growth. And if one of these habits resonated with you, leave a comment below and share which habit you're committing to this week. Remember, small habits, consistent action, extraordinary results. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.